So, just as a summary, here are some of the things you'll need to have in order to build your website or app. Your domain name, hosting, email, security as an SSL. Then also you'll need design and marketing. Okay, so where to start? Let's talk a little bit about validation. So I think the most important thing when you're trying to build your business is to figure out if your idea is worth it. How many of you here are here because you don't want to waste your time and because you want to waste your time and money? No one. I'm guessing no one wants to waste time and money. But if you do, please feel free to send me some money. So in this session, we're going to go over some quick ways to validate your idea and figure out whether or not you should actually build it. So when we want to validate ideas at sitebuilder.com.ng, we primarily use two tools. The first is a lean canvas, and the second is a financial model. Let's start with the lean canvas. The lean canvas is a one-page business template plan created by Ashma Uriah. I hope I say that right. That helps you deconstruct your idea into its key assumptions. It's a very effective tool to help you make sure that you are looking at your idea in the right way. It's very simple to build and really helps clarify how your idea will look in real life. So this is the lean canvas. It looks at your idea and breaks it down into 9 key parts. The problem you're trying to solve, how you'll solve it, how you'll measure success, what's unique about it, who your customers are, and how you'll find them, as well as what kind of costs you incur and how you'll make money. So let's go ahead and do an example. So once you've outlined all these things, it's really easy to kind of see how your business will work in real life. So let's try with Uber Nigeria, right? So in Nigeria, what's the problem for Uber Nigeria? The problem they're trying to solve, and that is finding a cab is difficult as there might not be one in the area, right? Another problem is taxis only accept cash, and we're now in a cashless economy. And the third problem is prices vary based on your haggling skills. So these may be 3 problems that people are trying to solve, like the problems that people who use taxis have. So what are some of the solutions? And these solutions should be tied to your problems. So guaranteed fast pickup, accept cards directly in the app, and predictable pricing. So your solution is not going to be a website or an app or whatever. It's actually tied to what the problem is. And then you can now start using this to figure out, okay, what is the best way to use technology to give these solutions to people. So the next thing we're going to talk about key metrics. Key metrics are things that you'll measure to make sure how you'll think your business is successful, right? So a key metric may be app installs, the number of trip books, the amount spent per month, and the time spent waiting for a ride. Now notice, time spent waiting for a ride and the number of trip books are tied to the problem and the solution, right? Time spent waiting for a ride directly to guaranteed fast pickup, right? Other things like revenue, you should always have something revenue tied unless you're like a charity. Your unique, so let's go on to unique value proposition. Your unique value proposition is for every problem that currently exist. People are solving it somehow. So for Uber Nigeria, even though they have all these problems, people are using taxis. That's how they're solving their transportation problems. So what is unique about how you solve the problem for them that will make people want to come to you as opposed to what they're already doing? Because remember, you want to change their behavior. So the unique value proposition is we allow Lagosians to get from point A to point B in a comfortable, safe, and reasonably priced ride by allowing them to hail a car through an app in one click. Now, this is where how you're going to solve it can come in, like in the app. This is what your unique value proposition is. So what's your unfair advantage? This is basically, what do you have over the competition? The competition includes the way that people are solving the problem currently. So for Uber, high brand awareness is a huge advantage because everybody has heard of Uber. Even long before Uber came to Nigeria, we all knew what Uber was and we were waiting for Uber to come to Nigeria. First to market, they were also the first to be doing this. Now you have a lot of other companies that are doing this. Like if you look globally, not locally, so you have like Lyft, and you have all these other ride-sharing hailing services. But Uber was the first to do it, and that is a big advantage. Okay, your channels are how will people find out about your product? So there are lots of different ways. So like for Uber, it's a referral program. If you remember when they launched, they were offering people like I think 2,000 to use the app. They use a lot of billboard adverts, and then they use BRT bus ads, which is funny. It's always funny to me because it's basically they have the same market, but hey, it works for them. So your customer segments are basically how you're going to group your customers, because you have to talk to customers in ways that are relatable to them, and each customer service segment is different. So how do you think of like your groups of customers, and how do you message to them? So young internet savvy professionals and tourists, young price sensitive style influence students and youth. So these are basically like Unilag, kind of students in this context. Your cost structure is the things that you'll be spending money on to keep yourself up and running. So IT infrastructure and development, they spend a lot on IT. Marketing and PR and legal, as we all know, Uber is in a lot of legal cases around the world because people are still trying to figure out how to regulate their type of business. And then driver recruitment and management. They also spend a lot of money trying to get more drivers on the platform and managing those platforms. Your revenue streams is how you'll make money. So cost structure is how you'll spend money. Revenue is how you'll make money. So the big one for them is commission on trips, right? And then, oh, I forgot one customer segment. The socialites and the party goers. Like, there are lots of people who have cars that don't want to drive to their location, and that's what that kind of covers. Okay, so that's your Lean Canvas. Super easy, super simple to do, but it kind of focuses you um, on how the problems and solutions you're trying to solve, and thinking about some of the things that you need to actually start a business, not just have a fancy app. So once you've outlined all these things, then it becomes really easy to see how your business will actually work in real life. So up next is the financial model. Now, this is something that a lot of people are scared of, either because it seems complicated or they don't really like math. But if you're going to be spending money to build your app, then you absolutely need to have a way to validate that spending that money is worthwhile. And once you've gone through the lean canvas, doing your financial model is a lot easier. But to make it even better, we've come up with a template for online businesses that you can use to check your numbers. So online businesses, apps, anything that uses technology to kind of check your numbers. So before we start, let's talk a little bit about money. When did Amazon become profitable? Like, when do you think? Just put a year in the comments. So here's a hint: they were founded in 1994. But and in 2017 they had $177.9 billion in revenue. But when did they become profitable? So what's the answer? Oops, sorry. So what's the answer? The answer is the fourth quarter of 2001. So that's 7 years after they were incorporated. They were operating long before that, but they didn't become profitable until 2001. And look at how much revenue they're generating. I bring this up because sometimes you have to take a long game approach to revenue. So while it took them time to generate profit, because they had a growth mindset, they knew that as long as they continue to grow, they will eventually make it. And that's something you really need to consider. You need to figure out if you're in it quickly, or if you're in it for the long game. Amazon was trying to change behavior. Before Amazon, nobody really shopped online that much. At least not to the scale that they're doing now. And a lot of the reason why we do that is because of Amazon. So they took that long game approach, knowing that if they were able to change the behavior of people, then they will make money in the long term. Okay? So what's a financial model? So it's basically an abstract representation of a real world financial situation. You can use a financial model to mimic any real world financial situation. So from how you get your salary in a year, to your car payments, your mortgage, and of course your business. It's a way to predict and plan based on assumptions. So at sitebuilder.com.ng, we've built a very simple financial model that models the two most common online business models: software as a service and e-commerce. So software as a service is also known as a subscription model. This model focuses on charging people monthly for a product or service. Examples here are Spotify, Netflix, gym memberships, club memberships, anything that requires monthly revenue. E-commerce focuses on selling goods and services online for a one-time fee. So example, Konga, Jumia, Amazon, but they're actual physical products that they're delivering to you. Well, actually not physical products. It could be virtual products. So you could sell ebooks, you could sell webinars, you could sell pretty much anything that it's like one time and you go, take money, and then that's it. And then the customer can come back a second time, but like each purchase is different as opposed to having depending on that person paying you monthly to um, kind of like for you to make your money. Now, notice I've been focusing on websites, but these two models actually fit apps as well. So, for example, Spotify is an app that uses software as a service, and then for e-commerce, Conga has an app. But even if you're building like a game, if you have like a monthly fee for people to join your game, then you're SSAS. But if you have like things that people can buy in game to like improve their game, then you're e-commerce. So we'll use those ideas and definitions for going forward. So now let's go through the financial model, building the model.